What's up, Driven Ambition family? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great week so far. Today we're going to be doing things a little bit different. This is a different view, a different style of Driven Ambition. And this is going to be a podcast series, kind of like a talk show, kind of a little bit spun off of my channel. Basically, we're just going to be covering any updates in the car community or just talk about any cool upcoming events that I want to talk about. And I'm going to post it all right here on my YouTube channel just whenever we get new interesting stuff. So y'all stay tuned. Thank you. Let's get on with it. So we're going to be covering the Dodge Copperhead, the Ferrari Luce, the Camaro return, and we're also going to be talking about the RumbleBee. So let's get right into this video.
Shining bright, diamonds dancing in the night. Ferrari parked under moonlight, living fast but feeling right. My bed wave, champagne rain, golden on every second of my luxury.
All right, so let's talk about the return of the Camaro first. So what we do know about the Camaro right now is we have multiple well-known sources that have came out and told us that there is going to be a new Camaro and that they're bringing it back. Those sources would be General Motors President Mark Russe, along with other sources like Car and Driver that are very reliable. What we do know so far is that the last generation Camaro was built in 2023, ending production in 2024 for those 23 models. That being said, it's 2026. We haven't had a new Camaro in 2 years, while other competitors are coming out with the brand new Dodge Charger, the 2-door and the 4-door, the Daytona, along with the 6-pack. Great car, by the way. May not be that V8 engine yet, but it is coming. That's also something to really keep an eye out on and something to pay attention to. Back to the Camaro now. The production for the new Camaro is expected to begin around early to mid 2027. That being said, you're going to see a lot of them hitting the lots, a lot of them coming out to the public around 2028 in the early seasons as well. These Camaros are also going to be built in the same plant, the Grand River plant in Michigan, that builds the CT5 Cadillac along with the V's and all the other cars of that sort on the Alpha platform. And I know what you're thinking, just like everybody else, is this real? Is this official? Do we have any actual confirmation that this is happening, or is it all just speculation? Well, here's your answer. We know for sure that it is coming, and we know for sure it's coming around that time frame because sources like Car and Driver, and like I mentioned earlier, the president of GM, Mark Russe, he has also repeatedly said that he wants the Camaro nameplate to not only return, but make an appearance late 2027 to early 2028. And we're not talking about some sissy baby style of the Camaro. This Camaro is going to be a whole new monster. You see how good GM did with the brand new C8 Corvette and how much that brought them out of the debt, out of the crisis that they were in. So of course they know that's exactly what car enthusiasts want, and they're bringing back the manual for the Camaro. So that's going to drive sales even more because what car guy doesn't love a manual? And so I really believe the Camaro is just going to knock it out of the park, exceed every expectation you can possibly imagine, because that's what everyone wants. They want a driver's focused car that's exclusive to an extent. You don't want something that's so exclusive like a Ferrari or something that, you know, is super hard to get. You got to buy this car and that car to get it. But it's going to be exclusive enough that not everyone can afford it, but it is affordable for people that are around the 50 to 60,000 range. So that being said, it's going to have tons of performance, and it has been speculated that it's going to be a full return of a fuel injected, naturally aspirated engine. And then there's also going to be a supercharged model as well, just like in the previous year. And with it sharing that Alpha platform from the CT5 Cadillac, it's going to be around the same size. And you might think it might be smaller or larger depending on your opinions on the car, but that does tell us it's going to be genuinely around the same size. Now, I'm not the only one that has covered this, obviously, but if you see any photos of the new Camaro around the internet, or it's going to be this 4-door, it's going to be this 2-door, this is exactly what it's going to look like. It's a complete lie. There's no actual pictures or rumored images of what the car actually looks like yet. Everything that you're seeing of how the car is going to look is all AI generated. Now, that being said, The two-door Camaro is returning no matter what. It will return. Now, there is speculation and there is resources telling us that there's going to be also a four-door variant, a four-door version of this car that has not yet ever been released to the public. So we are going to have a four-door version, but we're also going to have a two-door version. That four-door version's kind of looking like it's going to be a smaller, sportier SUV, kind of going towards the Lamborghini Urus, going towards the Porsche Macan, going towards the Mach-E Mustang, but it's not going to be electric. So that's a very exciting lineup there itself. I mean, even if you don't want the four-door Camaro, don't ruin the nameplate, even if you don't want to jump on that trend, that train, that is something that I think is awesome. I think will be really cool. A sporty SUV. I feel like GM's been missing that. Like, I feel like they've been missing a lot of cool cars besides the two flagships, Corvette, Camaro. So I feel like that's really going to help. And I think it's something that's really interesting that's been missing for years. And of course, just like the previous years, you can't expect a two-wheel drive car. I've already mentioned the manual. I've already mentioned the return of the V8. And to this point, there's no hybrid system. There's no electric engine. There's none of that bull crap. It's straight naturally aspirated V8 engine. And then they might come on top of it and add that supercharger, those twin turbos, whatever they feel like doing that sets the expectation out of the water. Because that's what GM usually does. It's going to compete with the things like the Mustang Dark Horse, the Mustang GT, the Hellcat, the Scat Pack, and the new Dodge Charger 6-pack. So pick your poison, but I think a V8, a new Camaro, something completely new is exactly what we need, exactly what car enthusiasts want. And it's almost like these manufacturers, Dodge, Ford, GM, are kind of just like working together almost in a scheme, and we don't know about it. This is all speculation. This is completely my ways of thinking. It's just a conspiracy. I feel like they're all kind of working together in a sense, and that they're like, hey, we're going to kill this off, and we're going to let you bring this back. And hey, we're going to kind of bring this back. They're kind of working together for marketing to keep like the beef, to keep the grind, the passion, just like going between each other all at once. Because if one dies out, then that's the only option. People aren't going to buy it as much. And you might think the opposite, but that's not the case because you saw exactly what Dodge did with the electric movement. So, something to think about. We have a new Camaro coming. I'm going to be covering any type of news that we get on it that's legit and official. And let's move on to the next car. Now let's talk the Dodge Copperhead. So what we know so far, Mopar Dodge SRT has brought to their investors, to the people within their company, shown them this flagship car that could be the potential face of the franchise for years to come. That car is the Dodge Copperhead. It does resemble the Viper. It's going to resemble a whole new style car as well, a two-door coupe, just like the Viper. It's going to have features and big engine just like the Viper. We don't have any speculation, any type of talks on how big the engine's going to be, if it's going to be a V8, a V10. We're not sure yet. We would love to see that V10 again, but then again, right now, how the world's working, all these laws and everything, we don't really know if it's going to be possible. That being said, a V8 is possible, and even a naturally aspirated V8, along with the supercharged V8 variant of that, would be very impressive. And there is speculation, there is talks, though, of a whole new engine coming out. We just don't know what it's going to be. I think the biggest news overall, and kind of like the exciting hype factor, is that this is 100% legit. This is 100% real. The Copperhead is coming out. It will be a production car. And it's not just false hopes and dreams. This is a real thing that's happening. This is a real car that's coming out to the public. And that's crazy news. If you're not excited, I don't know why, because I know for dang sure I'm excited. How do we know this is true? How do we know this is coming out? Stellantis, Dodge, Mopar, SRT, Jeep, Ram, etc. on investing day, once again, like I mentioned before, came to all their investors, pretty much told them, hey, this is our new model. This is what we want to work with. This is our new platform, our new engine, our new powered flagship car. This is going to be the new car of cars. It's going to be above the Demon, above the Hellcat. Right there at that level of the Viper, that's just insane. Pure American muscle, but they also have said it's muscle sports, muscle super, muscle exotic. So they're giving it a new spin. I like that they didn't reuse the Viper name and try to bring out a car that's not the Viper. So the Copperhead. Here's another thing. Why does the name matter? Where does the name come from? Are they just picking snakes from the backyard saying, hey, that's going to be the name of the next car? No, that is not the case at all. In 1997, Dodge actually came out with this concept car called the Copperhead. It was a two-door coupe. It was actually a rendering of what the Viper was going to be before the Viper was officially released. That being said, they're not going to render it off of that model because that model was kind of supposed to be the Viper. It's going to be a whole new model, a whole new idea perspective of what this car is going to be like. So really crazy good news there. It was a two-door coupe. It had the big long nose, the big long hood on it, and it was packing some power. Had a huge V8 in it, and I think Dodge is really, they've really stepped it up. They know what they're doing here. Now, comparing it back to the Viper, it's not going to be as pricey. It's going to be cheaper than the Viper. That way, it's not as exclusive. More people can get it. I'm not going to say a specific price range, but I'm going to say definitely over 60 for sure. Over 60 grand for sure in my book, just from my speculation, my thoughts. But it is going to be smaller than the Viper. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be more driver and handling focused. There's probably going to be an automatic. Probably won't be only manuals. There might not even be a manual option at all because they're trying to steer it towards the new era of cars as well. And I mean, we've seen how that's went in the past with the electric cars, all that crap. But even the new CEO for SRT and Mopar that came back has said these cars are only going to have one battery, and that's exactly what the people want. So it is going to be more affordable, less annoying, less big, but we might have to lose the manual over that. So that's just something to think about. But it does let you know, hey, it might be in my reach. It may not be out of my reach. Just kind of give you a heads up if you can afford this car or not, if you think you can get your hands on this car. What happened to the Copperhead when it was first released? So what happened was it was not a production car. It was a concept. So it came out, and then Mopar Dodge kind of decided, we don't really like this model. It was a cool concept to come out with, something to build off of, but we're not going to stick with it. So they killed it off and decided that that one concept car was going to be the death of the Copperhead. It's still going to have that long hood, that extremely low stance. It's going to have two seats, which is great. We don't want a four-door Viper going around a four-door Copperhead. It's going to have that massive rear wing, just like in the previous year Viper, and it's going to have that snake-induced branding. Like I said, it's not just the snake in the backyard, you know? And of course, it's going to be track-focused design. You're not going to get some like knockoff Charger or Challenger. It's going to be a whole new thing, a whole new perspective, a whole new car. And I know I keep saying that, but you really got to grasp it because right now it's just talks from me and some other YouTubers. We don't have like a general image yet. So just create that image in your head and just get really hot, really excited because they're not going to let us down, I promise you. They've already done it once with the electric cars, and we don't want it anymore. No one's buying it. It's all overpriced junk. And this is the future of Dodge. The Copperhead. It's coming soon. Stay tuned. Let's move on to the next car. Now, kind of the ick, kind of the weird speculation, the weird feeling, the hate, whatever you want to call it. We have the Ferrari Luce. Let's talk about it. So, what happened with the Ferrari Luce? What's the big issue? What's the big deal? What's going on with it? Why is there so much hate? So first, let's go ahead and talk about the whole scheme, the whole marketing, and the whole everything behind the Ferrari Luce. So Ferrari came to its brand, came to its people, the buyers, the sellers, everyone within Ferrari came together. And they're like, hey, we're going to introduce this new, super exciting new car, this new flagship model, this new crazy model. It is going to be all electric, but listen carefully, it's going to be the fastest production car ever made. In fact, people that drove it, people that are designing it say they've never been anything even close to it, remarkably close to it. It's supposed to be crazy fast, supposed to be crazy exclusive, crazy technology, and like a retro kind of throwback modern theme to it as well. So it was supposed to be like a record breaking, industry breaking, brand new car. So of course, all these collectors, all these high up individuals, all these people within Ferrari were like, "Hey, we have this crazy good product coming. You need to be prepared for it. You need to get on our waiting list. You need to buy these cars so you can get these cars." The list just goes on. So that being said, marketing starts. There's images of the inside, and it is a retro throwback car. So people are seeing it and they're like, "Okay, okay, it's pretty nice. I could see this in a really nice Ferrari." You know, it's that throwback styling, kind of hinted from the Testarossa, the F40, things like that. There's little pieces of it everywhere within the car on the interior from the screenshot we got at first, which was just the steering wheel and kind of a square screen with aluminum around it. So everyone was hype. Everyone was so excited to see this car, and it just kept getting more and more hype around it because who doesn't love the brand Ferrari? And then we saw it. If you could take the Apple car along with a Toyota Prius from the 2000s, that would be the Ferrari Luce with a facelift. I mean, the car just, to me, looks awful. And I love Ferrari. I'm a Ferrari enthusiast. I don't have a Ferrari, but I really love them and I follow them because I think it's a crazy, cool car brand, very exclusive, high end, great products. And they just missed the mark, man. They nailed the coffin close with this one because I don't know what was going on, to be honest with you. It's just it's horrendous, dude. Like it's bad. It's bad. When I first saw it, I was like beyond mad. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, I waited this long, and this is what you show me. And I'm like, I couldn't even afford it because it's base price on this car is $600,000 for a 4 door sedan that's electric. It looks like a 2000s Prius with a facelift. If I was a collector or someone high up in that company that gets their hands on this car, I would be beyond mad, upset, and I would just take it out on the CEO, the designers, whoever was in charge of this car, because it's just true embarrassment. And if you think the Camaro comeback or the Copperhead or the Rumblebee was the biggest talk of the town right now, you're wrong. Because if those are the biggest things in the market right now, this is the biggest controversy. Because the Luce is just a failed product. And it may be a crazy fast car. It may be a great car to drive. But I highly doubt it being electric. And the looks just ruin all of that. And it's also controversial because the former CEO always had these quotes and this point that came across that 90% of the Ferrari that you buy is going to be the engine. The money goes towards the engine, and the rest is that 10%. That is not the case here because one, there's not an engine, it's a battery with a jetpack on the back of it, electric jetpack. And two, no one wants to buy that, especially for 600 grand. That's like an economical car that should be like 40 grand max, and Ferrari's making it. Just it's just crazy to me. Now, like I do like the fact that they came out with some cool colors. The new blue color they came out with, the red always looks good on Ferrari. Even the red kind of looks bad on this one, but the colors are nice. I like some of the retro themes that they put on the interior. The outside, man, is just bad. The wheels are nice. The calipers look good. That's about it. The former Ferrari chairman, Luca di Montezemolo, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, he actually said, and I quote, "We risk destroying a legend by building this car." Second quote, "I hope they at least remove the prancing horse from the car for the sake of the company." Third quote, "At least the Chinese won't copy it." Let's be so serious. One of the most important figures in Ferrari history, the designer, the CEO, the guy behind all the great cars, the chairman for Ferrari comes out and says that. At least, I gotta look at it one more time. I hope they at least remove the prancing horse from the car for the sake of the company. At least the Chinese company won't copy it. We risk destroying the bro. This got to be secondhand embarrassment because, bro, they're getting cooked from every direction. Even Lamborghini was throwing shots on Instagram. I was just scrolling and I'll see the Luce and I'll click on it. Lamborghini's throwing shade, Porsche. But that's enough hate about the Luce. Ferrari's a great company. I love everything that they create. I love everything that they're about. I just don't love the Luce. That being said, let's move on to the Rumblebee. Maybe we can kind of end on a high note, end on an exciting note. Let's get with it. If the TRX was Ram's off-road legend, the new Rumblebee is the new street fighting cousin. And kind of like all the other rumors flying around, like I've said before, just like the other ones, this bad boy, it's real. And it's stinging hard because it's the Rumblebee. Let's get with it. Ram officially reamped the name Rumblebee, bringing back one of the most beloved names in the Mopar truck history. And they didn't just bring back a sticker package, a few stripes, a badge. They brought back some power. They brought back an engine worth talking about. And they brought back the Hemi V8s. Thank you. Not only a Hemi, they brought back the Hellcat, the Scat Pack in the truck, never been done before, and the regular Hemi. 3 different flagship model trucks now. That's impressive. That's really impressive. That gets me excited. Let's see what else it's made of. This isn't just a normal truck. Those engines I just listed, Hellcat, Scat Pack, regular Hemi engine, this truck's going to have enough power to embarrass most sports cars you see on the road. If I'm driving my car, one of these trucks is going to come up behind me if I'm going 90 and he's going to pass me going 150 like it's nothing. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Rumblebee. And that's something that's kind of disappeared. You don't really see many muscle trucks anymore, and you don't ever see any foreign companies trying to come out with a muscle car anymore either. Why? Because it's hard to do, and America's the only people so far that have really done it right. Don't get me wrong. There's been foreign companies, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, things like that have come out with a muscle car, but it's never that squared American look, and I guess that kind of speaks for itself because this is America. These are American muscle cars. So don't get me wrong. There have been great muscle cars from foreign companies, but no one does it like America when it comes to styling, the boaty feelingness, things like that. The lineup's going to include the new Rumblebee, the Rumblebee 392, and the Rumblebee SRT. So they're all going to be called the Rumblebee, all going to have those engines. All 3 get V8 power. Now the big dog, the top of the line, it's going to be getting 777 horsepower, powered by that supercharged Hellcat engine. And oh my gosh, it's got the huge wide body, the huge air intakes, the huge hood bulge. It's like, it's a TRX body on steroids with an engine of a TRX on steroids. So the truck's just going to be insane. And they're actually saying it's a little bit different from the Hellcat engine. It's got like a twist to it that's never been done before by Mopar. And that's why it's able to push 777 horsepower in a pickup truck that can be 4-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. Can you imagine? It's a burnout drift machine in 2-wheel drive. It's not about the rock crawling. It's not about towing. It's not about looking cool or doing anything. It's about going fast, showing everybody that you're a bad member jammer, and showing them that you're here to get the job done, take the breath away with a pickup truck. This is the type of truck you're going to roll up to your local Cars and Coffee, and everyone's going to spill it. You know why? Because they may have a McLaren. They may have a Ferrari. They're going to see this American muscle sports muscle truck, and they're going to realize they have mad respect for you. You're looking at a top speed of 170 miles per hour before tune, before any changes, a low 11-second quarter mile capability, and around 3.4 to 3.5 seconds to 60 miles per hour. Can you imagine a pickup truck that goes 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds? Stock factory? It's just unheard of. And yes, this pickup truck will have launch control. As of now, there won't be a manual option. It will be paddle shift only and automatic pistol grip style shifter. I know that's kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, with how the world's going right now with the car industry, there's not many manuals out there left. So if you do have a manual, protect it, take care of it, and drive it like you got some sense, because they're really rare. They're going to be worth something if they're not already, and that just kind of speaks for itself. But most importantly, what I want to point out here is unlike any other manufacturer right now, it seems that at least when Stellantis failed, they knew they failed. And at least when they failed, they listened to us. They hired our guy back. He took charge. He took control. He listened to the people. And ever since then, it's been power, 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 more power, muscle anywhere you can look, American horsepower anywhere you can look. And that's what the people want. That's what everyone's been asking for. Everyone's been begging for. They listened. And that's rare with a car company that has the size and the ego of a company like Mopar. And the crazy part is they're not even like trying to compete with the Raptor or the ZR2 Bison. They're their own bracket. They don't even have to compete because no one's pushing that much power, especially not that much torque. And they're for dang sure not throwing it out there in a factory truck. But that's pretty much my wrap for today's video. I covered the return of the Camaro, the Ferrari Luce, the Dodge Copperhead, and the Dodge RumbleBee. So pretty exciting day overall. I hope y'all really enjoyed the video. Welcome to the Driven Ambition podcast studio style video that I created today. I hope y'all like it. I thought about trying some new content like this, so it was exciting getting to do it. Thank you all. You all matter. You all have a purpose in the world. Go out there, chase your dreams, stay driven. We'll see you in the next one. We out.